Online learning is one of the fastest growing trends.
All recent figures indicate that.
We are gathering to discuss online learning challenges and opportunities.
Let's get started.
Let's start with the advantages e-learning has over face-to-face learning.
One of the most rewarding aspects of online teaching is to experiment new instructional techniques, such as threaded discussions and weblographies.
Teaching online offers educators conveniences not available in traditional classroom settings. For example, at-home office hours and flexible work schedules.
There are many advantages for learners as well. Online delivery makes participation possible for students who experience geographic and time barriers.
Correct. The self-paced learning modules allowed students to work at their own pace.
Successfully completing online courses builds self-knowledge and self-confidence and encourages students to take responsibility for their learning.
In addition, it develops knowledge of the internet and computer skills.
Online learning costs less than traditional face-to-face learning.
Asynchronous threaded discussion allows shy, introverted and ESL students to fully participate. So what are the key challenges of teaching online? Although there are a wide array of educational technologies, not all of these technologies are appropriate matches to the subject taught.
In addition, developing online courses can be time-consuming and the transitioning a traditional course to an online setting is difficult.
Students experiencing online courses can easily get overwhelmed and confused. That's why educators should think carefully how to appropriately organize their courses.
Online learning relies on students' active role in the learning process. Educators must find means to promote interactivity.
Online educator don't know if students understand the material or if their methods are working.
On the other side, students aren't sure if they are doing enough or catching all of the concepts.
In an environment where instructors do not necessarily meet students face-to-face and where students may never have an opportunity to meet their peers in a physical classroom, developing a sense of community can be particularly challenging.
So how educators deal with these challenges?
It is very important that instructors ensure that pedagogical principles drive the use of technology rather than the other way around.
I recommend that educators collaborate with e-learning professional communities and IT specialists. It can certainly reduce the time taken to develop online course.
As a curriculum designer, I recommend that educators develop their courses well in advance and allow some flexibility into their course's structure.
I chunk the syllabus into discrete segments and select authentic assessments that align with each learning module.
To promote active learning, I use online discussion forums and facilitate collaborative learning processes and tools.
I account for a high percentage of the course grade for students' participation in discussion forums.
I recommend responding to students' concerns and questions within time frames set at the beginning of the course.
I track student progress in course activities and contact students who haven't logged in for over a week to inquire whether they're experiencing any difficulties.
I provide general feedback to the entire class on specific assignments or discussions, while at the same time providing individual constructive feedback to each student.
I welcome students before the course begins via email or course announcement and post a personal introduction with an informal tone.
Great point, Kate. I ask students to post a short self-introduction to the forum and encourage them to discuss among each other in the informal discussion section.
Now let's discuss the challenges and opportunities for online learners.
Many students may initially find this kind of learning disorienting without the physical classroom space and guidance from their educator.
Although students are generally tech-savvy, some students cannot even operate basic programs.
Studying online can sometimes feel isolating, confusing, or discouraging. After enrolling, many learners fall behind and nurture the idea of giving up.
Underprepared students can't take the control and can't make decisions, such as what and how much to study. Time management is a difficult task for some e-learners.
So what can learners do?
Learners must demonstrate that their prerequisite technology skills are adequate.
Learners must seek assistance in understanding and mastering different learning modules.
They must interact with their instructor and other students, and actively participate in all online activities.
Many of my students use regular schedule planners. It helped them significantly in time management.
Now to wrap up. What key practices for educators and learners to have a successful learning experience?
It is important to strive for all forms of presence. The social, cognitive, or teaching presence.
In addition, we need to embed effective emotions. I use appropriate humor and self-disclosure to model and support effective expressions.
There is no doubt, if learners feel they are part of a community, they are more apt to be motivated to seek solutions to their problems and succeed.
Develop expectations as course requirements, how much time learners should be working on the course, grading guidelines, and post all assignments and activities at the beginning.
Pells's first principle of effective online pedagogy is to let the students do most of the work. That's why educators must design activities that invite students to interact. Integrating synchronous activities can help to create a strong sense of social presence.
I select stimulating topics and open-ended questions to promote the constructivist thinking. I advise educators not to jump into the discussion until students' responses are waning.
I provide an introductory survey with questions on student expectations as well as multiple course evaluations and checkpoints at different times of the course.
I use many assessment strategies that enable learners to assess their progress, identify areas for review, and re-establish immediate learning.
Combining core concepts with personalized interests can make the learning experience more relevant and meaningful.
I end up the course with activities such as presentations, summaries, and analysis. These activities provide insights what useful knowledge students are taking away from the course.
On the other hand, learners should take charge of their own learning and demonstrate the required technical, study, and time management skills.
Learners must collaborate with others, interact with their educators, respond to forum questions, compare and analyze various ideas.
That's how new information is acquired and made meaningful.
We hope you learned a bit about online learning from our discussion, and thank you.